Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for all the Thanksgiving wishes last week. I'm always happy to be here with you, rolling like an avalanche into week 13. Let's get this money. Slam the like button. First game, Thursday night football. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Hawks are +9. Listen, I'm going Hawks to cover, Cowboys to win. I know 80% of the Bills will be on the Cowboys to win this game, and I understand why. Cowboys are looking really potent now, and I get it. But who have they played in the last 24 days? I'm not trying to be a hater. What they did in the third and fourth quarter against the Commanders was impressive. I am not taking anything away, but I do think this Hawks team has an Alamo in them. I do think they have a last stand in them. This Hawks defense is better than people think. Geno Smith has been absolutely terrible. That's the big issue, but I think the Hawks will be able to run it. I think they'll be able to cover this. I'm not saying they're going to win it, and if you really need to bet this game, I would go Cowboys first half. I just think 9 is too damn much, and we have to understand, Thursday night, Monday night, it used to be only Thursday night, but we saw that Monday night game with the Bears and Vikings, how ugly and out of rhythm it was. We know Thursday night, the games tend to go under, the games tend to get sloppy. I think this one gets sloppy. Hawks cover, Cowboys win the game. If you need to back Cowboys first half, I think it's -4.5. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Texans -3.5. Money. Texans to win in the cover. Listen, this isn't a great week for bets. I feel like the spreads are a point or two off. This game opened at 3, and of course, I was jumping with joy. It's Tuesday now, and we know that was going to move up. I have to give you guys a little bit of perspective about these last 3 or 4 Broncos games. Against the Vikings, they got 4 turnovers. Last week against the Browns, they got 4 turnovers. And I'm not taking anything away, but there is a little bit of a luck variance, and I think they have been getting a lot of luck. And if you look at the stats, if you look at the film, this Broncos offense is actually worse now than it was earlier in the season. They don't do an awful lot, and I don't think the Texans are going to turn the ball over 3 or 4 times. That's the only way they can lose this game, and that's the only way they can't cover. We know when you got Stroud, you got the big plays to Tank Dell, you got the moxie under the center, but the most important thing, the Texans take care of the fucking ball. I think the Texans get into the 30s here. I still think this Broncos defense is vulnerable, and one thing you need to look at is this Texans run game is going to have themselves a day. Texans winning the cover, making a money pick. If this gets down to -3, you better run your ass and get it in. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Falcons -2. Falcons to win in the cover. I do want to bet this one, but at this point, shouldn't both teams be on the no-bet list? And you would think this Jets defense could win the game by themselves, but when you got people like Zach Wilson, when you got people like Tim Boyle, it is a disease. It's kind of like gonorrhea or herpes. You just know it's going to bring everything down around you, and that's the situation with the New York Jets. I think the Falcons win and cover, and you do worry about the Falcons' quarterback issues. We saw that interception Ritter threw last week. I'm not expecting much good from him. The under looks enticing in this game. I got the Falcons to win in the cover. Not a lot of science. If you want to bet this, have at it. Next game! Game of the week! Game of the season, maybe. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. 49ers are -2.5. I want to talk more about this spread. I got the 49ers to win in the cover, and you guys know I'm pretty open about my power rankings throughout the year. I've had the 49ers at 1 or 2 the whole damn year. I have them at 1 ahead of the Chiefs and Eagles. But am I the only one who's a little bit bothered by this spread? 49ers going to the East Coast into the rabid Philadelphia Stadium, and they're laying points. And we know, like, what is it, like 1.5, 2 points for home field advantage? So Vegas is actually thinking, the 49ers are 4.5 points better than the Eagles. I'm not going there. Like, I think the 49ers win the game, but I kind of wanted your opinion about the spreads. And when you look at this Eagles team, I guess this comes back to what I've been saying all year. When have we seen them play a full 4 quarters? When have we seen them at their best? And credit to them, they were able to get that push against the Bills for us. But the questions remain about the Eagles, and I think this game comes down to what can Purdy do against the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. The big weakness, the big unit that is weak in this game is that Philly secondary. Can Purdy take advantage of it? I think he will. I think this will be a grinder, and the Eagles could make a huge comeback. I just think they start slow, and that's what keeps happening. 49ers winning the cover with the -2.5. I do think, I don't like this spread though. I will understand completely if someone runs and bets the Eagles. I think you're getting value there. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Zona +5.5. Zona to cover, Pittsburgh to win. Pittsburgh has been our gravy train. And who would have thought? Listen, I did like what I saw of the Pittsburgh offense against the Cincy defense. I do think getting rid of Matt Canada did give them a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a boost. But let's keep perspective here. Let's understand that even with 400 yards, they only put up 16 points against the Bengals defense that was on the field the whole fucking day. I do think Zona will keep it close, but we got to see Kyler Murray run more. We've been giving credit to John Gannon this whole year, and I think he deserves at least a little bit. But that game plan against the Rams was absolutely hideous, absolutely treacherous. We need to see more of Kyle Murray outside of the pocket. I think we'll see it. This is going to be another Pittsburgh grinder. And do you really want to bet Pittsburgh when they're laying 5.5, 6 points? I certainly don't. Zona covers, Pittsburgh wins. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell at the New Orleans Saints. Lions -4. Money, money, money. Money. Listen. Lions to win in the cover. This is a tricky week, like I said. There's nothing jumping out at you. And I understand, I'm worried about Goff. Teams have bad days in this league. It happens. But that performance against the Packers was absolutely abysmal. And we have seen Goff kind of declining as the year has gone on. Last year, he just kept getting better every week and peaked around this time. I do think Goff is a worry, but you want to know what I also worry about? I worry about the fucking Saints. I worry about Pete Carmichael calling plays. I worry about them being able to protect Carr. I worry about their defense losing motivation and gusto. And I don't know, you should go have a yonder at the Saints injury report. Olave's probably going to miss this game. Shaheed's going to miss this game. Cam Jordan's probably going to miss this game. I just don't know what receivers Carr will have to throw to. Go check out the injury report. I'm Lions winning the cover, money pick, bounce back spot. Dan Campbell has buttered our bread since last year. I'm sticking with it. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. Fire Staley. The New England Patriots hoodie. Chargers -6. Pats cover, Chargers win. I wonder what brave souls will want about this game. Here's what I look at in this game. Last week we had the Giants, and we thought the Giants would actually win the game, and we weren't wrong. But, when it's +6, +7, you gotta just roll the dice at the Patriots, right? I know you want some better analysis, but we know both of these teams are bad, and dare I say, these are two poorly coached teams, and I'm not seeing this Chargers team waking up. I'm not seeing a lot of fight in them, and they had every chance to beat the Ravens. Luckily, the Ravens covered for us, but this game in Foxborough, I think, is the difference. I don't trust the Chargers anywhere, and I certainly don't trust them in cold weather. I think this will be the game we finally get rid of Brandon Staley. I will celebrate it. I don't celebrate anything bad happening to anyone, but this this is one where I'll pour a little bit of scotch and I'll sit back and reflect on how many games he's blown for us. Pats cover, Chargers win. He needs to get the fuck out of there. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Colts -1. Colts winning the cover. I mean, don't we need to stick with this train? I mean, we rated the Colts above the Bucs the whole year. And I'm not seeing anything that will change my mind. Now, when you look at this game, you say Vrabel, Titans, great front seven, especially with the run fits. Colts need to get the run game going. But honestly, I don't think the Colts need to do that much on offense in this game. I think if they get to 13, 17 points, they have a real possibility to win this. And we did see some signs out of the Titans last week. But can I be honest, man? I think we got to discount anything that takes place against the Carolina Panthers. Also, Will Levis, he looked good in his first game, in his first 2 games. But after that, he's been poor. I think the Colts have better coaching. I think the Colts have better play calling offensively. I'm not saying Steichen's a better coach than Vrabel, but we know in these tight games, when it comes down to one possession, I want the guy with the better offensive mind. Give me Steichen, give me the Colts, winning the cover. This will be an absolute ugly game too. I'm looking forward to this game. I really am. Colts winning the cover. Tempted to bet it, but we got to wait to see how it all plays out. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins. Tua at the Washington No Names plus 9.5. Money. Borderline. Which way you think I'm going? Commanders, 9.5. Borderline money pick. Listen, I understand we all saw what happened on Thanksgiving. But they were in great position to cover, and then they completely collapsed. And also, the Dolphins have been buttering our bread this whole year. They covered for us against the Jets, and every single time the Dolphins get into this situation, they seem to cover. But I think the no-names can put up a lot more resistance than the Jets, especially offensively. And when you think of this Fangio scheme, 7 in the box, lots of deep zone. They drop back. They let you throw it underneath. I think the Commanders can run it this game, man. And I think that'll kill clock. I think the Commanders will have some opportunities. And also, I do wonder about the weather, man. And I'm not one of those guys who says, oh, always bet against the Dolphins or Miami teams in cold. But I do think it will make a difference, man. And I do think that no names can keep this close. And I think they're due for a performance. You know, we've been milking this Miami Dolphins cow the whole year, especially in these situations. I think this is the time when we take a step back and go the other side. No names to cover, borderline money pick. Fins will win the game, of course. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Bucs. Panthers plus 5.5. I kind of think the Panthers can win this game. Listen, I got the Bucs to win, Panthers to cover. I do think the Panthers can do something here. Now, their injury list has been big the whole year. I do think they'll be getting some defensive starters back, but let's go to the other side. I've been saying all year, man, new coach bounce is a real thing. Antonio Pierce proved that to everyone. Everyone thought I was crazy when I made the video on Instagram. I do believe in the new coach bounce. I do think Frank Reich was over his head, and I simply don't think Frank Reich belongs in the NFL. I'm not sure if Bryce Young belongs in the NFL, but for one game, one Sunday, one moment, I think we'll see a Panthers team that's invigorated, that will be able to take advantage of some of the Buccaneers' problems. And let's be honest, man, I know a lot of you guys love the Bucs, and I know you guys tell me you're betting them every week. I get it. Like, I get what you see on paper. They're very good, especially defensively, but they just don't put together or string together consistent performances, and I really feel like this offense is falling off the deep end, man, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to put up too many points. This is going to be a grinder, man. And when you get in a grinder type situation, division game, two pretty poor teams, two pretty shitty offenses, give me the points. And honestly, if this was 4 years ago when I started doing the videos in here, I would just fucking bet this and put my balls on the line. Panthers cover, Bucs win. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Rams. Browns plus 3.5. You want to gamble? Browns win in a cover. But and this is a money pick. This is a money pick. In a week where there's not a lot shouting out to us, I feel like we got to get back on the Browns. And they've been good to us last week in Mile High. We saw what happened. 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles. You're not going to win that way. I mean, Browns just don't have enough explosion on offense to win that way. But can I ask you a question? If Myles Garrett plays this game, if Zadarius Smith plays this game, how the hell are the Rams' offensive line going to block them? And how the hell is Matt Stafford going to be able to stay in there and slang passes? And listen, I get the allure about the Rams. You got 3 good receivers. You got a great play caller in McVay. And the defense has been better than advertised. Like, I get the allure, but they just can't put it together. They can't do the little things. They can't run the ball well. They don't do a lot of play action. And this offensive line gets their ass kicked every fucking week. I mean, the Cardinals aren't going to test your offensive line. But when the Browns come rolling into Los Angeles, they will. Like, this is a money pick, but it's dependent on Myles Garrett playing. I just don't see how they are able to block Myles Garrett. We know he's got that shoulder injury. Be mature about this. Wait until you see Myles Garrett ready to suit up before you bet it. But I love the 3.5. I love the hook here. And I do like us getting P.J. Walker instead of DTR. I think P.J. Walker's a lot better. And I think Stefanski will have a good game plan. Browns winning the cover, upset, but the money pick is on the 3.5. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Green Bay Packers. Chiefs minus 6.5. Chiefs win, Packers cover. Well, do you guys know the motivational levels in this Chiefs locker room? I don't. And it's a guessing game. That's why we don't bet their games a lot. I think the Packers can keep it close. I'm not sure how the weather would be. You guys on Instagram were speculating we might see some snow. I'm not sure. But I do think this Packers team is getting better, but it's more about the Chiefs. I just don't think this Chiefs team is dominant. I just don't think they have enough dogs to really just unfoil a game and whip a team's ass by 30. I just don't think they do. I'm going Packers to cover, Chiefs to win. I am interested to see, can Jordan Love figure this out? This Chiefs defense has been pretty good, but like I said, man, I feel like they're vulnerable, and I want to see what Jordan Love does. Next game, Monday Night Football. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jags. Bengals plus 8.5. Jags winning the cover. Listen, I watched that full Pittsburgh Bengals game last week because we had a Patreon bet for the Steelers. And listen, the backup quarterback for the Bengals, man, he should have threw 3 or 4 interceptions. And that's why I think the Jags win this game by 15, 20 points. I think this Jags team is starting to peak at the right time. Lawrence made the big plays to beat Houston. That Houston Jags game was absolutely monumental. It was a borderline classic. I absolutely enjoyed watching that game. I don't think the Jags let up, man. I think the Jags know this Texans team isn't going away, and I think we see a full tilt performance from the Jags. Jags winning the cover. This Bengals defense can fight, and they played really good last week, but there's only so much you can do when you spend 50 minutes on the field. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be back in the studio next week. Let's get this money. I appreciate all the Thanksgiving wishes. Always great to see you guys.